Good evening, everyone. I'm Anthony Antoine. Topping the rundown at this hour, a new layer to a story we broke first on Fox about a surrogacy escrow agency based here in Houston accused of misappropriating millions of dollars meant for surrogates. Dominique Side and her associate Anthony Hall are the subjects of an FBI investigation and several civil lawsuits filed by parents whose money has simply disappeared. Side managed the escrow accounts those intended parents used to help pay their surrogates. But in a hearing here today, the focus was on the transfer of property tied to the escrow company and another woman now named in the lawsuits, Helen Yancey. Fox 26's Abigail Dye was in that hearing. So Abigail, walk us through what happened here today in court.
Well, Anthony, today, essentially the attorney for the families in this case was filing a temporary injunction order, and that was set to just kind of freeze up some assets of Anthony Hall, who is an associate of Dominique Side, Side being the woman who is alleged to be at the center of this entire fraudulent surrogacy company. Now, the judge did grant that temporary injunction, and all of the parties kind of came to an agreement here in court today. But a really big topic, of that 2-hour testimony that Hall gave in court today was the transfer of a piece of land that was worth $575,000, according to court records. Now, according to those records, Side transferred the land to Hall in June. And then on July 17th, Hall transferred the land to a third associate, Helen Yancey. That same day, at the same time, actually, according to attorney statements, Hall agreed to a different temporary injunction order that would have made a transfer of land like that one out of the bounds of court. Now, Hall claimed in court today that the transfer of the land was done without his consent and that he didn't sign the transfer of the deed, claiming that Yancey forged his signature. Today, Hall essentially fought to keep control of some of his equipment that he uses to make a living, arguing that he's just as much a victim in this case as the plaintiffs.
And I think the focus has been completely on the families. Rightfully so. But what about the residual impact of the other people that are involved unwillingly to this fact? Me, the people that I contract for work, all of these things, they're affected in this too. And I just want to at least be able to have a way to continue the good work that we did, not the bad things, the good work that I put forward, and move my business in the right direction.
Now, the attorney representing the families is trying to hold Hall, Yancey, and Side in contempt of court for that deed transfer, and that will likely be the next setting in this court date. We don't have an exact date for that yet. Another big topic, a big talker in the courtroom today, was a Facebook post that Yancey allegedly made yesterday in response to all of this.